Be arrogant. Now, anybody know how long the average U.S. marriage lasts?
5 years.
5 years? Who's that cynical bastard? Next.
18 years.
7.8. It's probably why it's called the 7-year itch. Have you ever heard about the 7-year itch? Anybody know the average length of time that I spend with an entrepreneur that I invest in? 10. Ergo, I'm signing up for a relationship that lasts longer than the average U.S. marriage. If you're an asshole, or you're arrogant, or I don't think you can learn, I don't want anything to do with you either. Getting the Silicon Valley, and I'm going to pick on you, the Silicon Valley, getting the Silicon Valley hype tech crunch machine of my shit don't stink, I'm a startup god, is probably the most unattractive human being I can think of. If you want to have a real experience and start a real startup and actually do something good, don't be an asshole. Don't be an arrogant. Know what you know what you don't know. Be willing to learn and partner with people. You're not always right. Nobody is. Next up, if you can't figure out what you can control and what you can't control, your brain will blow up. So in every startup, there is what I know, there's what I know that I don't know, and what I don't know that I don't know. You can really worry about the first two, and that's okay. Those can keep you up at night. I give you permission. That I'm going to worry about what I don't know that I don't know, you got to let that go away. You don't know what Google's going to do tomorrow. You don't know what Apple's going to do tomorrow. You don't know what your competitor's going to do tomorrow. You know what? That's okay. Like, control the things you can. Maybe dip your toe in the water and try to like hypothesize about what might come down later, but try not to just let the monkey brain happen where you're worried about everything. Just worry about what you can control and control it as much as you can. Being overly emotional instead of analytical. Now, I'm not saying be a robot, although we do invest in robots with the hope that one day we can replace you all and have the robots start the startup so we can just give them the ideas. I'm totally kidding, come on. That being said, there are a lot of startup founders who are highly emotional. Some people may call them hypomanic. For those of you who have taken my class at CU, you know I love to talk about the hypomanic edge, which is a psychological study of what drives founders and what the personality type is for founders of startups, which you all are. Being an emotional, empathetic human being is wonderful. Wearing your heart on your sleeve with all of your employees and letting them ride your roller coaster that you will invariably ride as a founder is a dangerous thing. You got to be presidential. You got to be analytical. You got to be calm. You got to smooth over the rough patches for your team. If you want to come talk to, the folks who run the program or your board or even your investors and complain about how bad life is and how you're completely out of gas, that's okay. That's cool. But let's not wear this on our sleeve, let everybody else see it because it's damaging to you and your fellow colleagues. Yeah. The question is, what's sort of the relationship between founders and the first employees, especially on an emotional level? It's usually very close. I know a few successful firms that eventually one day they start calling the first and second employee some sort of founder or telling, it wouldn't be there without you. Some of you make the right hire and they last, a while. But yeah, if people start feeling more like colleagues, not us and them between founders and first employees. Kind of along the scope of we were talking about pre-sales that don't follow through is don't overpromise and underdeliver. And I think most people take a wrong definition of this. They say, well, yeah, I always do what I say I'm going to do. No, I mean, you really got to say what you're going to do all the time to everyone. If you meet with a mentor and they give you great advice and you say you're going to follow up and you don't, you're dead to me. Dead to me. Now, if you don't tell me you're going to follow up and you don't follow up, that's fine. I don't care. I can use one less email. Always do what you're going to say you're doing. At the micro level, from mentors to promising employees to holding people accountable to telling the board what you're going to do and actually doing it, you have to deliver what you promise. So you know what? You're all enthusiastic. You're all founders. It's natural to have this over-optimistic sort of look in the world. Don't fall into the trap because you get one or two screw-ups like that and then people just start tuning out. We don't believe anything you're going to say. It's the same thing when negotiations. I always say I do a negotiations lecture sometimes here, and I always say never make a threat you're not willing to back up, because as soon as you make a threat and you don't back it up, I know you're full of shit. This is the newest one. This was added last year. This is the sad one, but it's the harsh reality. So if there's only one you remember, I kind of want you to remember this one. Your personal life is no longer your personal life. You have one life. You don't have a work life. You don't have a personal life. You have life. As founders of tech companies, with today's scrutiny, media, backlash, politicization, national inquirization, whatever it is, whatever you do in your personal life will affect your company. If you do something bad enough to end up in a newspaper, I have to fire you. If you do something bad enough to piss off your employees, you lose your bully pulpit to lead. This is, you know, can you get away with DUI? I don't know. Maybe. But it's not like the old days. You are not anonymous. Everything you do will be held against you in the court of public opinion. And that is, you don't get a lawyer. You don't get to shut your mouth up. This isn't fucking Law and Order. You're screwed. So be sure that if you're going to do this, you're a startup founder 24/7. I remember when I went to law school, they told us that we were lawyers 24/7, 365, which means when I was a lawyer, if I got picked up for a DUI, I could lose my law license. If I didn't make child support payments, I could lose my law license. If I hit somebody in a bar, I could lose my law license. Well, congratulations, startup founders. You're just like a lawyer now in that respect.